You know, years ago, I had this thing. I had a sweaty hand problem. I had a severe anxiety problem, and I was working in a restaurant at Texas A&M area, College Station, Texas, and I had I was a runner running 70, 80, 90. I even ran up to 130 miles a week, partly because I just loved running and racing, but also it helped me relax and be less anxious. But I had this sweaty hand problem and this anxiety thing, and I was going through life with it for up till that point into my 20s. It ended up staying until into my 30s, and I solved it. And what happened was I was working as a waiter, and I thought I can't just keep working as a waiter. I graduated college, Texas A&M. I've got to do something with my life, right? But I was having a great time. I mean, I was making good money. I had a car. I was able to run a lot of miles, and I decided not to go to medical school because I just felt like if I went, it would be the end of my life. I wouldn't be able to run the 70, 80, 90, 100 miles a week. And yet I knew I had to do something. So I heard about physical therapy, and in an instant, I decided, you know what, I can do that. I'll still be able to run a lot. But then I was down in Houston at the Houston Medical Center in physical therapy school in the first semester. And I used to look at all my friends running and still living this really kickback runner lifestyle. And I was working really hard and studying, and I wasn't even running because I was so stressed out. And I thought I was going to fail every semester. And I also had some weird running injury. I think it was more like just a stress injury, but I kept at it for some reason. I didn't just quit. I thought about quitting. I thought about going back to work in a restaurant and just returning back and being a runner. I thought that would be so cool. I even imagined all the physical therapy students looking at me going, look, there goes Ralph. He's a runner now again. But I didn't. I kept working at it. And then I graduated physical therapy school and moved out to San Diego. And I started taking classes and working on people, but I had this weird sweating problem and this anxiety problem. And I mean, it was crazy. I was working in a hospital, and I always had to like hide it, you know. But I would have to put my hands on people sometimes, and I'm sure they knew, that I had this issue. And so there I was going along, and I started finding myself getting more and more attracted to a type of therapy where you have to put your hands on people a lot. And so lots of issues of me trying to put my hands on people and like, oh God, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? I could have another job where you don't have to put your hands on people. And even as a physical therapist, there's ways to be a physical therapist and not put your hands on people. You could just be a therapist that makes people exercise. But I was like, no, I got to do this. And I don't even know why. And I think part of it was there was something in me that knew that I needed to solve this. Like I even thought about it. I didn't want to be an 80-year-old guy with severe anxiety and sweating issues. I thought an 80-year-old guy should have solved this in his life. A man should know how to live without this kind of issue. And so I found this type of therapy, integrative manual therapy, and it was so stressful because it was a lot of hands-on stuff, and you had to be really good at it and lots of training. And I ended up taking 110 classes over 10 years in it, all over the United States and Canada. And I think part of it was I knew that there was an answer in there. And turns out there was. And so there was a way to find root causes, to find out what my body was protecting me from and clear that. And over the years, I got rid of my anxiety and got rid of my sweaty hands. So much so that at first I was kind of like, oh my goodness, I better not be talking about it. I don't want it to come back. And plus I didn't want people to know about it, but it was gone. And years went by and I was like, wow, this is really gone. And so then over the past couple of years, I've been opening up more and more and telling people about this problem that I had because there's a way out of it. And so what I found is that in that struggle of having this problem is how I was born. It was how I was sculpted to be doing what I do now, which is helping people from all over the world, over the internet, in all sorts of different ways, healing sessions of all sorts. But it's what I got to do. And I think if I hadn't had this problem, this anxiety and the sweaty hand thing, of course I wouldn't be doing it this way. I would just be running and living a life as a physical therapist, probably just working for somebody else. But there was this something in me that really wanted to solve. And in that, it got to where I could do my work over the internet with people. And so whatever you're dealing with, whatever condition you have or struggles, in the struggle is how you're born, right? And so looking back, it's kind of cool to see like, oh my goodness, if I hadn't had all those issues, I wouldn't be doing this now. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, and just leave you with that kind of idea with whatever you're dealing with. And if you're dealing with anxiety and sweaty hands, you can let me know and I can point you to what I've used. And right now, just I'd love to hear what you think about what kind of struggles you're having and what where you think you're going, and what you're dealing with. And if you do have an anxiety or sweaty hand problems, you can go get some information, and I can let you know what I did. I've got a book, a free book that I've got, and I'm going to be releasing it in a few days. And but right now you can get on the list so that when it's released it's a couple days from now, then you can get it. And it's at ralphhavens.com/end anxiety forever. So look for that. It's a book of what I use. I wrote it all down, and I got a bunch of stuff for you. It's got a lot of extra goodies and things for you. So I hope you get it, and let me know what you're dealing with. All right. So this is Ralph Havens, physical therapist, integrated manual therapist, healer, coach, and let's get out there and live. Let's really live. All right, everybody. Talk to you soon.